my last show for like at least a month. I don't know, it might be my last show for a minute. So let me let it sink in. Let's let it boom, baby, boom, rise and shine. There's some morning mountain motivation time going on here. That morning shine's about to creep over and creep into our lives. And I feel like a narcissist creeped into my life. And I also feel like I'm the narcissist too. So, in this last message, if you will, I'm not going to go on and on and on and all these other things. What I am going to do is tell you a bit of a story in the third person, like my psychologist asked me to do. Let's go, Saint Addiction. Your boy Saint be living his blessed life. You know, I was pretty healthy, as you can tell. Your boy's healthy, feeling wealthy, feeling like he's on his good shit, right? And a guy meets a girl. You know, I was thinking about it actually yesterday, sitting there where we met, and there's so many triggers of this person. It's not even funny. I think that she knows that she's potent. And I know that I'm potent. I can be a lot of energy. I can be all in your face. I can be too much, right? This is me accepting my narcissistic traits and also explaining why I thought the other person was a narcissist. So this is how you kill a narcissist, right? First of all, I'm not trying to kill her. You know what I mean? Like, I have no ill will towards her. She did what she did. I'm a grown ass man, all fair in love and war. No revenge, no callousness. On the other half, it's the no contact, right? I'm not grown up enough to say I'm sorry, or hey, things didn't go right, but I got other plans. I can at least email somebody, right? Like, even if you wanted to quit your job, you'd get more response out of this than me, right? Like, if you wanted to quit your job, then you would have had to give more information than I received. And unfortunately, this is what ends up happening is you want to believe, right? I think the biggest thing that makes everybody susceptible is that there's a possibility of real love. Now, this is the thing that's going to get all of us involved. This is going to be something that's going to pull you in, right? It's going to say, hey, I got your attention, I got your heart. What are you going to do about it? And I honestly believed I was in love. And honestly, I believed she was in love too. Here's the difference is what ends up happening is you see people when they don't get what they want, right? Like, I wasn't getting enough affection, the sex was inconsistent, the abuse was becoming more consistent, and there weren't as many good days as there were bad. No knock against anybody, it was just like starting to happen. And sure, you can have a checkered past, and sure I don't know you that well to be trying to marry you. I've never tried to ask anybody to marry me in my whole life and literally never see them again. Is a shock to my system. I had to do some research, not only about narcissism, which I will play these videos. I have some really good videos that I've been cramming, but also about my narcissism. I saw a psychologist yesterday. I haven't seen a psychologist since I was probably 19 years old, and they told me I had narcissistic tendencies, so I worried that I was a narcissist as well. Truth be told, everyone is, right? So to kill the narcissist, right? To kill the narcissist inside you, because you can't kill the other narcissist. This is not murder. This isn't revenge. This isn't a melee. This isn't. This is how it works. Like, oh, this person hurt me. Hurt people like to hurt people. You want to be healed, right? And a truly healed person, I'm gonna give it to you in the first 5 minutes. The truly healed person can detach, right? And then reattach, right? We can repair what we rupture. We can take ourselves out of the mix and apologize for our behavior. We can see when we're trying to steal the limelight. We can see how we're making everything about us. And what happens, especially as a narcissist, right? I tend to find myself in conversations where I turn them around and talk about me more, please. You know what I mean? Like, you need to talk about how I need more attention. I remember being out in the ocean with this one, and I'm taking videos of her, but she didn't want to take videos of me. I'm taking videos of or pictures of her playing pool, but it's my first time DJing. they were all shitty and all over the place. The amount of attention wasn't the same, right? As long as there was 256 text messages, 63 text messages, I don't know who was love bombing who, because I felt the same way. I'm like, this beautiful girl is telling me she was already so into me. I'm so hot. I really like you. Well, of course, who doesn't want to hear that? Who doesn't want to hear a very attractive person is into them, right? Hook, line, and sinker. I mean, if you're having sex with me within the first 6 hours, that's a bit of a love bomb. What started to trip me out was the shift in accountability. Right from the beginning, meeting this individual, they were already shifting accountability on their friends. She was talking about all her friends thought she was narcissist, or someone just broke up with her friend Jennifer or some shit. And then this guy Mo, he's all up in her head. He just needs her for sex, and they're supposed to be business partners, and he thinks they're a power couple. And then it was hard to snap her out of the funk. You know what I mean? I mean, she's just sitting there. I just met this person, and they're going on and on for 2 hours of all these people that screwed him. I didn't see it as a red flag. I just saw it as a frustrated person that had trouble shifting their gears. Here's where I went wrong. Going dancing and doing acid with this person put me in a mental space that made me feel elevated. Like, made me feel, well, you're in the moment, right? You're in the moment. You're having a good time. She's looking cute. You're vibing. She was just kissing you. Time to go make some love. Oh my God, I can't believe I have this beautiful woman in my bed. Here's where it gets weird. They can't close the deal, right? I think eventually a narcissist has to make it about them, eventually. And in this relationship, both of us being narcissistic, two narcissists dating each other, one trying to pretend they're an empath, but they're probably a dark empath. And one's trying to pretend like he's not me, personally, that I'm not a narcissist. But I think if I had to categorize myself, I would say not malicious, not malignant, not covert. What's the word? Grandiose, because I have these big visions, man. I've done some things in my life, and I like to think that these things are going to happen. I put some faith into it. You can call it the law of attraction. You can call it what you want, right? That's my theme song. Call it what you want, but in a way, I literally believe that things are going to happen. Like, better days. Like, I didn't have any money for this trip, and better days showed up, and this was brought to you by Futurola, champion of papers. Mike Tyson, baby. Mike Tyson papers and Futurola. So I'm going into this life and the story of like meeting a girl that I met, and I'm sure she'll say that I was love bombing her for the second date. The next day, like, we make love, we go to the club, have a good time. She's hot. She said she wants to go to her room by herself. She's got aircon. I didn't think nothing of it. Didn't really hug her goodbye. Didn't even really kiss her goodbye. This is someone I just made love to. This is our first time. You thought it would combine, right? The ability to disconnect out of this is really what solidified me on the narcissism. So, for me, if you're in love, bro, you're all over each other, man. Maybe it is love bombing, but man, I want to be love bombed like that. I mean, we just met. You're my new wet blanket. I can't get you off of me. You can't keep your little model hands off me, just like Jay-Z. And we do it till we can't fucking get it up no mo, right? Instead, what started to happen was like a bit of control, right? Like, no, I'm going to control the tempo of this. I'm going to control, and maybe she doesn't see it that way. You know what I mean? A lot of people are going to try to put up boundaries. I believe boundaries are for people inside them, right? If you want to be celibate, you say no. If you don't say no, that you didn't honor your celibacy. You didn't honor your word, and you don't keep your own boundaries. Boundaries are for some people to cross them. You can't make people stop talking to you. You can't make people respect you. You can't make people do anything. So the idea of control, right? Like, who's got real control? It's a hallmark for narcissists, including myself. Like, I feel like I'm the man. I should be in control of the situation. I should be like paying for meals, and instead she paid for the first meal, which was shocking to me. I was like, oh, this beautiful girl, I'm low on money. She paid for meals. She must be generous, right? She must be generous. She must be kind. She was just helping this old man in the line. And here's where it doesn't get kind. It gets unkind when they don't get what they want, bro. That's how it always is. Everybody wants to be super friendly in your face, and it's almost now paranoid. Where if anybody's charming, like your boy Marky Saint, you're gonna be like, are they narcissistic? Do they not care about others and their feelings, and are they going to make everything perverse and about them? I think so. Like, I think that's everybody, bro. You get in the conversations nowadays. You hop on the phone. I know with like my best friend, she'll start off just telling me all the problems that are in her head and what's going on wrong with life and why she's stressed out. And then I'll slip in my shit and I'll be all about me and why this girl left me and why my heart's broken and how am I still putting hands on women. Yep, that's right. I'm gonna keep it true on this show. We're gonna talk about how to kill like to kill a mockingbird, to kill a narcissist. And this is what they kept saying, that you could be a super empath, which was already narcissistic, that you're more super than someone else, that you are superior than other people, the superiority complex. I'm in high fashion. I'm extremely beautiful. I do fucking rich things. These I live the high life, right? Oh, me too, bitch, man, in Vegas, but it doesn't make me the person that I am, right? Like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I already did that damn thing, trying to fucking keep up with the Josens of the clubs and take the photos with the photographers and be a socialite and have enough money to rub the elbows. I did it all the way to Mallorca too. Shit, I did this year. But rubbing elbows isn't the same as connecting. You know what I mean? The true vulnerability, right? This is what's going to define the narcissist is the amount of vulnerability that they show you. Are they able to tell you straight stories? Are they able to tell the full truth? Or is everybody else a narcissist and it's not them? That's a big red sign. Like you ain't done your research at all because everybody's somewhere along the spectrum. You know, they might not be malignant, but they could be covert. Mm-hmm. And and the covert part was like the picking me apart. You know, like, oh, you don't have the sheets. Well, when you were fucking me, you didn't care about the sheets, but now all of a sudden it's a big deal. You don't love me, storming out, big storm out. I'm like, if you can leave over the cleanliness of a bathroom, I'll wait, bro, because I never seen anything like it in my life. But if you can storm out at the midnight for the cleanliness of the bathroom, bro, you and me have something in common. Me and you have seen the same story, and it's unfortunate but true. This is how these things end up working, and it's not cool. You just don't see yourself losing control with this person because part of it is that they're promising the things that they want, that you want. Man, they're showing up, they're in your face, they should be making love to you, but then that gets a little bit faded off, and then the praise quickly turns to criticism. I noticed that too. And hey, I'm no better than the next guy. I've been on the phone, with my ex too, and I'll be like, why do you wear all black? Or should you should wear lower cut shirts? And then all of a sudden I'm the narcissist because I'm trying to give them advice. There's something about perfectionism that I don't know, maybe it's my mom and my family, but that the upbringing where like you represent me, right? Your look is my look. So if you're disheveled, people are gonna think I'm disheveled, and I gotta have my whole family tight. It's not how I treat them up till the church. I remember one chick saying this in the BU seminar, saying I berated them the whole way to the church. Don't act stupid. Fix your tie. You're gonna wear that, like, in just the epitome of perfectionism, but not happiness. And that's what I really noticed about narcissists, and including myself, is like the happiness. It won't last long enough. And that's when I knew I was doing the dirty deed, is because like usually like drugs or that kind of behavior, risky behavior, which is another hallmark of narcissism, is you're just going to need impulsivity, and you won't communicate your plans, and everything has to be super exciting, and then they're going to be super depressing after because nothing's going to mimic those same regions in your brain. It's just fucking crazy. Let's go into it, shall we? I'm gonna smoke this joint. Let's go.
Do you know a narcissist when you see one? Is there some Do you know a narcissist when you see one? Is there someone in your life right now that you suspect might be one? If the answer is yes, and this person is someone you consider a friend or maybe more, you might be asking yourself, do they really like me? Are they even capable of genuinely liking someone?
Really love me?
It can be tricky to determine if a narcissist truly likes someone, as they often prioritize their own needs and desires over others. But understanding the signs a narcissist likes you
And that's what happened from the beginning. It's like, I'm celibate. Well, you already slept with me under your own fruition. But what was weird about it was the lack of accountability right after. It was like thinking me that I fucking busted her off, couple orgasms, and we made love. Came after and go, you didn't respect my celibacy, and I was like, wait, hold up, dude. I've been celibate before, but eventually I ended my celibacy. How did I know you weren't coming to the end of your celibacy? And what's worse about the manipulation is that she was sleeping with somebody else a month before me. Like, it was supposed to be just a friend. And then we do this, oh, I can't hold hands with you because this just a friend might see it. And I can't add you as a relationship in Facebook because my parents are Muslim. And I'm afraid that you're interviewing porn stars, but I had a whole porn star life, and I'm throwing shade on you, but I can't throw any light on me. This will be the big difference between us and narcissists. It's like at least I'm a narcissist, I guess, because I know that I believe in myself. I know that I have self confidence. I know who I was before this even happened, and now I'm all self shocked and depressed. Wondering, how did I get so close to marrying someone? And it turns out we do what's familiar. My mother, unfortunately, is manic depressive, is bipolar, shows and exhibits rage on a regular basis. Like, that's my mom. I wish she had more self control. I wish that she wasn't so in a mental way. And I wish that I treated her better too, you guys. I get frustrated with my mom. She'll get like a bad attitude. I'm like, don't be fucking talking to me like that. So by the time I saw that coming at me, I'm like, I'm not the one. Even me, I've had to sit my mom down and restrain her. Like, just sit, stop. You're yelling at people. You're going way over the top. And I mean, it's just about, I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're already fucking in my ass at like 8 o'clock. And these people, they won't register it. They just only register their pain and their anger. They can't register how painful it's being that they're being angry. They can't regulate themselves. And this is a huge sign of narcissism because it's going to be everyone else is at fault. It has nothing to do with me. It's your fault. I need you to fix me because I lack the accountability. The tough part is the shame and the guilt. I swear I went and got a fucking lighter. Mm-hmm. The thing that keeps the loop going is the shame and the guilt, right? You will for sure be ashamed at your actions, that you could be so selfish and self-centered and manipulative. But then I go into Robert Greene's book, which we'll let in, we'll get in this in a bit, but there is a part of it where who wants to be powerless, who wants someone to have control over them, and definitely who wants to be a slave, right? And some people, they don't mind making people slaves for them. They don't mind getting adored. They don't mind getting all the attention and the money from the situation. But at the same time, when it comes to reciprocity is really what I wanted to say. Just making it rhyme for the other word. When it comes to reciprocity, it wasn't there. I'm like, you're getting me hard in the ocean, but you don't want to have sex. You have hangups with sex because you've turned yourself into a sexual object. You turned yourself into an attention seeker, and now it's all about external validation. So when people validate you for your looks, they don't validate you as a human, right? Now you get devalued from other people because you've lessened your value by handing it out, right? Like, I need so much attention. It's not even funny. I need my DMs full of weirdos. I need to do crazier things to stay excited. I need to push the envelope, and then therefore I can't even keep people in my life, right? Like, you want to notice if someone's a narcissist, see how many people they have in their lives. I ate dinner alone. I was hanging out with my friend earlier. He was supposed to come with pizza, and I could give my excuses. But I ate dinner alone. And last year in London, my buddy didn't go out with me anyway. So I was like kind of alone for the last 2 years. And I asked myself, Mark, are you a narcissist? Right? Do you get callous when people have less emotion? I'm like, yeah, that happens. I'm not so emotional. I don't like to dive into it. I like to be like a suck it up pussy. You got this, rah rah siskumba kind of person. That's just me. But that's also something that I didn't see exhibited in my family. So both my parents are both Scorpios, mom and dad. Guess what? Both of them are narcissistic. Okay? I mean, I'm still waiting for my dad to say I'm sorry. And I got a sorry out of my mom once. Actually, I kind of painted the picture to her like, Mom, you can't always be perfect. You can't always be out of the right. There's got to be something you did, and acknowledge it. You know, you're right. I'm sorry. I come around the corner. I do get my attitude all out of whack, and I shouldn't have taken it out on you. And one of those kind of speeches. Now you're dealing with somebody that's facing their narcissism, right? These are people that notice that they're affecting other people. If you don't notice, then you're heavily under it, right? Like if you don't notice that you're belittling someone at the office, or that you're punking people and always kind of, this is my own thing, punking people, always kind of being diminutive and controlling, right? My abandonment issues from my own mother, because running off on a Harley with somebody else, was like shock in my eyes. I was just like, oh my God, how can the person that I love treat me like this? And I think she's going to say the same, like, oh my God, how the person that I love treat me like this? How can he be putting me in a headlock right now after I tried headbutting him, right? Like, how did it get there? And I'll tell you, like, from the beginning, it starts off slow. You don't fucking know. You just want to be in love. There's a beautiful person in front of you. They're telling you beautiful things, and beautiful things are happening. But incongruent things were happening, like you're not sleeping over the first night. Now, I've had some sex in my life, and most of us, we we cuddle after, right? We consummate. We bond. You're gonna have a lot of trouble trying to bond to a narcissist, bro. They won't allow you to, because that's too much vulnerability for them. This is something where you're like, if you're super vulnerable, you're gonna feel super exposed. You're gonna be like, yo, like even mine. I'm like, I don't want to do the fucking show anymore. I feel like I'm giving too much information to my ex. She's the only one that's fucking watching. She's doing her research and shit. I gotta go do my research. Like, who was I about to marry? No way. No way. OnlyFans account? Nuh-uh. FetLife account? Nuh-uh. She didn't really tell me all this. Like, the half truths start coming out. Like, oh, you were getting physical in your old relationships? Well, I don't want to see anybody locked in a closet. I definitely don't want to see any guns to anyone's head. But just like my father broke my mom's nose in front of me as a kid, what did you say to get in that situation? Why are you dating these people? And why are you even dating me at this point, right? Like, this is the whole point, is like, if this is your MO, this is your show, why doesn't it look different? Right? Why does it look the same as all the other relationships? And this is something I had to have a conversation with my own psychologist. She's like, Mark, I need you to write these things in the third person. I need you to write the story out with no one's at fault. Just tell the story as a third person, as a director. Okay, two people meet at a restaurant. There was a party going on. They shifted from friends to lovers really quickly. It escalated quickly. It disappeared quickly, because then after that big blowout, a fight, I'm going to this big ass resort. My buddy invited me to go. What do you call it when you go? Sauna, right? I went to the sauna, and it was nice, nigga. It was nice. I was just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? She started calling it kind of like love bombing, and I'm really into you, and I'm like, I'm not really love bombing you. I'm just going to the place that my buddy went. It could be out in the middle of the nowhere, but this is highly romantic. This is charged, you know? And I'm listening to her stories, and I'm like, okay, I'm being a good listener. She's talking an awful lot about herself. She's not asking about me. Oh, you're in the apps? Well, I'm in apps too. Let me try to throw something in. No, you want to talk about the whole thing. Instead of talking about love and life and the future, it was Mike Hogan. And I feel that between both of us and narcissists, like, I need the limelight, I need attention, I need love and affection. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I already gave you two sexes, and that's all you're getting today. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't believe in control. That is not how I love. You should never use sex as a weapon. Are you weaponizing against me? Are you pushing off me? Was that our first physical fight? Like, this is the second night, known you less than 24 hours, 48 hours. I called it 48-hour love, because she just appeared for a week. And I went over to my friends and like, have you ever experienced anything like this? Have you ever experienced something like really intense, and then it just disappears, and then it just shows back up randomly and act like nothing have ever happened? Yeah, that might be a sign of a narcissist as well, because then everyone else will be able to still talk about the shit that happened. Hey, we had a discord, we had a disconnect in this breakup. What happened? Right? Like a real cognizant shit. Like, why'd you push off on me? You know what I mean? Why'd you have a panic attack? And in my head, faking empathy, so that's my narcissism as well, because I was like, man, something's wrong with you, getting judgmental, and this ain't right, and I don't like the way you're feeling. When all love all night, let's blow out the candles together, let's live together forever, goes to I want to go home alone with a panic attack. And if I show her hands how much she was panicking, I guess I'm mimicking, and then I'm not showing any empathy for her situation. I'm just telling the story like I'm at a bar with my friends and like, and bro, she started to fucking pinch herself and hyperventilate. It was a little too much for a beautiful night. We were just at the Rainforest Spa. We were just at the, we closed the restaurant, then we closed the bar. We closed down the whole hotel. Everything was cool till we had to start going in two different directions. She wanted to go up a hill in the wrong way, and I was following the way that we came the right way. Right or wrong, right? Who's going to follow who, right? Who's going to be leading this? And she's like, okay, I trust you. But by the time it came to real trust, she wanted to hike back. It was an hour long, dee dee da, bop, 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 bop. And then all of a sudden, mood swings. All of a sudden, it went from I'm all in love with you to now I need to be away from you. All of a sudden it's I'm trusting you to I don't trust anybody, right? All of a sudden it's I'm tired, but a minute ago it was like I want to do a fucking hour long fucking hike on a Saturday night when people are drunk through the jungle where it's not safe, too steep to even walk. Your energy level for that was way up here, and now your energy level for the other things way down here. You went from fucking me within the first 6 hours to I need to be home alone. Inconsistencies. Like you can't help it as a narcissist, as a person that it has narcissistic tendencies. You can't help it. You can't help but want to feel like you need the microphone. Like it's my turn to talk. I'm hurting so much inside. I'm having so much pain. Please, please, please help me. And you won't notice that you use these people as like for attention, or listening, or just even release, right? Like just talking to anyone, even like a psychologist, you're getting some kind of oxytocin, you're getting some kind of dopamine, you're feeling closer to someone, you're feeling like your pain's alleviating you. Well, it doesn't work for very long because nobody wants to keep pouring their cup into a cup that doesn't pour back. And this is the whole idea of the reciprocity. It's like I can be affectionate towards you. Will you be affectionate towards me? And is that real love? Or is it just that you're going to buy me things, but you won't spend time with me? Or you're going to criticize me, but you're not going to improve me? And this is where it starts to get really wacky. And this is why I had to start learning it. And this is also the reason why I want to get off the show for about a month, because I got a month left basically being on this island. And there's been a lot of triggers. And I feel really good this morning, but I was being very overly emotional. And I was talking to my friends, and they were talking about just how I I actually know that I can endure anything. I've already had other abortions. I've already had abusive relationships. I've already been in prison. Like I've endured everything. Like this is just what it is. Like I'm an endurance racer, and I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of that, and it is a part of me, unfortunately. But I remember the man I was before. I was the guy that was overweight, and then I finally started to lose the weight and started to work out, and then I was feeling great at this moment. I think this is the opportunity that you get to inherit some of these people. The meek shall inherit the earth. Um, when you're at your prime, you finally dug yourself out of the years of depression. I know with my ex Mets, she said, "Man, this is the best I've been in 2 3 years." Me saying, "Best I've been in 2 3 years." We have an opportunity to make magic if we don't fuck it up. Yeah, I'll wait. If you don't act the way that you normally do, if you can control your character and temper, if you can be better than you were yesterday, this thing will make it. But for the rest of us, as soon as we see fear, we go back to our um, self protection mechanisms. As soon as we see the first sign of incongruencies, we run. I had a runaway in my hands, like, and then I was a runaway too, so we're both just split, boom, going in different directions, further away from each other, further miscommunicating, mostly texting than it's actually speaking face to face, assuming the worst possible outcome. She must be fucking this guy because she's not answering the phone. Of course, she fucked him. She went off on a motorcycle with him. If anything else, that was like emotional cheating. Fuck, that sun's coming out. Woo. Just spending her attention with everyone else, and maybe she's an Aquarius, or maybe she was just like this, or whatever. But it's like anytime it was time to commit to me, like make more love with me, or spend more time with me, or solidify me in the relationship, I was getting denied. And that left me in a position of chasing, and I think she appreciated the chasing. Do you still want me? Do you still want me? Do you still want me in the morning? And I want consistency. I want happiness. I want sustained happiness, and I'd like to think that I can get over me and not sit here and play a victim, because I'm not a victim. I chose to be in this situation, right? I chose this woman, and as much as I'd like to say I chose to fall in love with her, I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, definitely an enchantress, Viking enchantress, or whatever she wants to go by. But I think that in her psychosis, she was so used to manipulating men and disrespecting them and using them, and not wanting to admit it, but it's true. I think a lot of people can say that there's some uneven relationships. If you're adult enough to do it, you can say, yeah, man, like this girl likes me more than like them, and sometimes they give me money, and sometimes they're my sponsor, sometimes they're my slave. You're like, slave? You call people slaves, dude? Like, you have to like the idea of control if you have a slave. You have to be okay with treating someone less than if you have a slave. And even the word slave in modern day era still has that ugh on it. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't control yourself, you're going to look to control everyone else. This is a manipulation tactic, because you're going to be like, oh, you're going to wear that? I can't believe you're going to wear that. Oh my God, dude. Like, this isn't right. You're manipulating what they think is right. You're manipulating their direction in their life, and that's not cool, bro. No one needs to hear that shit. No one needs to put up with that shit. That's just not cool. But this is why I'm doing this long ass show. So let's go.
Who can help you set healthy boundaries in these kinds of relationships. With that,
She was trying to say boundaries on me, but already gave me sex, but talking about celibacy didn't stop me, but wanted to say I crossed her boundaries. Your boundaries are for you. And one of my cold hard boundaries that I let her cross was abuse. Just that first hand, the whap. It was like a push off. It was a hit and a push off. It wasn't a punch, but I know violence. And that was my first, like, oh shit, dude, this is like really happening. I mean, I just only known you 48 hours and you're already putting hands on me. That's my red line. I should have just said it then. But then she disappeared for a week. So when by the time she came, she didn't mention it. We didn't really talk about it. And there wasn't really an apology for it. Like, why'd you hit me? You know, why do you want to have my baby? Like, I just met you. Because I'm getting old, and I think you're going to be a good dad. Comes the gaslighting. I take a deep breath. That's what I've been wanting to hear, because the other chick didn't say I was a good dad. She was saying me all sorts of shit. And that's what's calling me all my name. And then all of a sudden Sarah shows up, and it was just like, yay, it's the Sarah show. Let's go. Everything about you. I love everything about you. I can get over your mixed past, and I can get over your trust issues, and I can fix everything. I show up as the narcissist. I show up as the solution. I show up as the psychologist that can fix everything. Let me sit here for 2 hours and listen to you. I'm so empathetic. I got you. You can only fake empathy for so long. Either you really care about the person or you don't. And if you really just met the person, how much real, genuine care can you pour into them? How long does it take you to show your affection to your friends? How long does it take you to show up before they're sick and you need to bring them chicken soup? How long will it test you that you can care about them more than yourself? Right? Like, everybody's so concerned about self love that they forgot to give love. You know what I mean? Like, they want love. We all want love, but we don't want to give it. We want all the followers, we want all the likes, we want all the attention, but we don't want to give it. Right? We just adore me and everything will be fine. Right? We don't need to fill your cup. You'll be all right, because you got me, right? And it's like, do I really got you, dude? Let's go.
set. Here are 5 signs that a narcissist likes you, according to experts. Love bombing. Because narcissists love being the center of attention, they assume that everyone else does too. So one way they express affection is by lavishing overwhelming praise and attention on someone. This is a common manipulation tactic known as love bombing, explains psychologist Dr. Elena Tiani. But don't be fooled. The narcissist's goal is not just to gain your gratitude and affection, but to make you feel indebted to them as a means of controlling you. Mirroring. According to therapist Dr. Emily Mayfield, narcissists have a tendency to mirror the behaviors of people they like or admire because they experience other people only as extensions of themselves rather than separate individuals.
Right. You're a reflection of a reflection. You got to be sexy enough to be my purse on my arm. You got to mirroring is a situation that you might do naturally, especially if you're in love with someone. This isn't a very good technique to learn from, because If you like someone, you'll cross your legs the same way. You'll point your knees inward. You'll flirt. You'll touch. It's just how humans operate. It's our signaling to say that I'm interested in you. So if they're mirroring back, you're usually getting laid. Like,
when a narcissist likes you, they may begin to share your interests, agree with your opinions, and adopt your mannerisms to create a false sense of intimacy. If you find this video relatable and
I honestly couldn't do that. I couldn't honestly sit there and be like, oh, she's crossing her leg. I'm gonna cross my leg. I'm not that far manipulated. When we were both there, it felt real. I feel stupid for saying it because it feels so real. It's still real to me. I can't fake my love. Now, can I show my love in better ways? I'm sure I can. I'm sure I don't need to get handsy with bitches. I'm sure I don't need to get verbally with bitches. And I'm sure I don't need to be picking them apart or calling them bitches. Not healthy, but I'm working on it. you know um but it's also a trust issue, right? Like, you don't know this person at all, so your first thing is to go give them borders and give them excuses or give them reasons why you can't comply, right? Like, I can't deal with you, you can't comply. So a week goes by, shows up, next thing I know, we're in the ocean naked, and I can't sleep with her. We're under the full moon. There's nothing but a space and opportunity. And she's getting my dick hard. She's rubbing her butt up against it. And I'm like, I just want to plow her here right on the beach, man. This is everything in my DNA. This is the moment. And I don't, because I'm afraid of her celibacy. And then this is when the games start getting played. This is where the control starts to switch. Like, now you're in control of my sex life. You're in control if I go celibate or not. This forced celibacy, oh, now you want to be celibate, but you've been banging me? Well, you're my partner. What does that say for me? It's a selfish move, and now I got nothing. I got no moves left. Either sleep with someone else and find sex and find affection from someone else, or wait around for you to dole it out and tell me when I can have it in a form of control. You can call it what you want. You can call it a, what is that called again? A boundary, right? It's only a boundary if you keep it. You hear me now? Feel me now? Real boundaries are on you, bro. They're your principles. So if you really or if you really are celibate, don't be having sex with your business partner a month ahead of me. Don't be having sex with me within the first 6 hours. And don't expect your castles to be built on clouds unless you give yourself the same self-respect. Herein lies the issue. Herein lies the guilt. Herein lies the shame. Herein lies the misery that narcissists live in, because they don't have an authentic self. They've been sex working for 15 years. They've been desensitized to sexuality. They've been burnt out. They've handed all the slices to everyone else, and there was only two slices left for me. And me, my affectionate ways, and my narcissism, being a doted on child. I'm the firstborn. My mom really loves me. I was getting that kind of treatment. My narcissism kicks in. Well, like, hey, you're not loving me like the same as my mom or my aunts or all the other girlfriends of the past. You're not giving me compliments. First they do. I'm like, man, you're really so sexy. It's probably the last time I heard that, right? Damn, you're hot. That shit faded off. Let's kiss you a lot. That started to fade off too. You know what I mean? And like, oh, you fucked me a lot. You thanked me, right? And where'd it go the next day? It's gone. And I'm just like, who is this person? Why do I feel like I'm in love, walking around like a zombie for the first week, not knowing who the fuck this person was? Like, you must be tripping. You must be playing games. You want to fucking be separate from me, but you want to love me so much. What is love? Let's go.
Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.
Up. Let's go.
Now, moving on to the next point. Introjecting. Narcissists also have a tendency to introject the people they like into themselves, because again, they perceive other people only as extensions of themselves. Introjection happens when a person attributes what is in their own mind to someone else. Simply put, all the good things a narcissist likes about you, they will come to believe is true about themselves too. But in doing so, says mental health journalist Mark Randall Havens, an expert in narcissistic abuse recovery, you become a detached fantasy used to support the narcissist's ego. Micromanaging. If a narcissist likes you, they'll most likely start to care about your public image as much as they do about theirs. They'll do everything to try.
Bro, getting on my show saying you need more followers. I've been doing it for 10 years. I'm okay with my 1,333 followers, bro. Oh, the man of mine must look good, right? You can't be spitting. You can't be snotting. I'm like, this whole thing's filled with spit and snot, bro. I pee off the side of this. She didn't like that. She didn't like me peeing everywhere. She didn't like that I would have my nose run on my show because I'm a human, but it doesn't make me look good to spit. So please curb that. And I didn't pick her apart. You want to take a shit, and have me sit outside with the headphones so I can't hear you take a shit. Girl, I have two sisters and a mom, man. You're human, I'm human. One of these days you're gonna fart. And she was terrified to do that because she would lose the attention. I guess a man like thought less of her, and God forbid someone thinks less of you. You got to really see your self-esteem and the narcissist. They might seem like they have a high self-esteem. I seem like I have a healthy self-esteem. I got my muscles together. I got this badass beard, and I travel the world. Right? High self-esteem. I actually believe in myself. So there's some narcissism in there. Here's the difference: is I've seen me fail. Like watch how not accountable a narcissist is. No, that's not. This relationship was a narcissist. Well, how the fuck did you find him? You know what I mean? Get in the game. How the fuck did I find you? If I wasn't like on the prowl or looking for someone, I wouldn't have found anyone, right? But like I had to get in shape. I was here for 2 months. Nobody was talking to me. The person I was having sex with stopped having sex with me. I was single and available and willing and ready. I was in a good place. Now I'm in a place where I judge myself now. And I go, maybe I'm the narcissist. Now I'm calling the psychologist. Now I'm thinking every relationship I've ever had has seen a narcissistic side of me where I've become cold hearted and broken it off. And do the no contact, where I've done the harm but didn't do the apologies, right? I showed up and showed out, showed my manic side, acted a fool, ruined uh, situations. Like if they ever ruin like an occasion, like a family function or something like that, they're a narcissist. All these things apply in this scenario.
And make it seem like the two of you are in the ideal relationship or friendship by carefully curating your social media posts about them and the two of you, as well as painstakingly coordinating your public appearances together, such as at parties. According to licensed counselor Dr. Suzanne Degas White, they'll probably be more preoccupied with how good the two of you look together than how happy you really are. Because to a narcissist, all relationships are transactional. In their eyes, you exist to provide them with positive attention and not much else. Grandiosity. Like most people, a narcissist will go to great lengths to win you over and impress you if they like you. Because they're driven by the need for admiration and social validation, they'll probably try to talk your ear off about all of their exaggerated achievements.
Oh, for sure. I think we all embellish. It's called embellishment. You know, I know, especially as Americans, we over exaggerate our points. Everybody's telling their glory stories, and you should. You want to impress people. You know what I mean? This is their first time meeting them. First impressions are everything. But lying about it is another thing. You know what I mean? These things, these grandiose things that I'm going to build, but they never come through. And she had no problem pointing out the fact that I never bought this bungalow. This has been a 15-year journey, by the way. I'm on 15 years. I've known this chick less than 3 months, and she was already like, I thought you were going to do it already. I'm like, right, I thought you were going to quit ketamine already. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing to me how the abusers can still abuse drugs. This is a new thing. They can still be drinking the ketamine bumps, the kratums, whatever. They don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that. Nobody's going to sit there and be like, oh man, I'm still kind of soft inside. I don't feel right. So I look for external products or chemicals to make me feel right. And we all know that shit goes wrong. I don't even have to explain Saints Addiction to you. If you're doing it externally, you're not going to get it internally. And the reason why I'm quitting the show for a month is just so I have this month to be by myself. I don't need the attention and validation of other people. I know she's going to watch this show. I wanted it to reach her. I wanted to get out a message of, I understand you now. At first, I was so confused. Like, I was just like, why would you act this way? What's going on? And it's a lot of me being too much pressure, me being all up in your face. I'm a Taurus. I'm aggressive. I'm going to be like, you need to suck it up, pussy. Today's not the day to cry in bed all day. Like, come on outside. Let's talk about this like human beings. Let's talk about like two adults, except for now there's either you're three, either you're the parent, you're the adult, or you're the child in every position you've ever played in your life. And I was trying to come at it like, I'm the adult, you're the child, sit here and listen to me. That didn't go over very well. Nobody's going to get told what to do, especially if you lack self-control or wanting to be controlled. You see how much of it's manipulation, how much of the person controlling you, and how much of it's discipline. How much of it is, I'm open enough to hear somebody else's stuff. Like, this is when you're really going to see some narcissism too, because I don't like being told what to do. I'm a free bird. You ain't going to tell me where I can go and where not to go. But it's also one of those things where I also need to shut up sometimes. right? Sit and fold them, act right. There's times and places for every fucking thing, man. And this is that self control. We don't act the same way we act in front of our parents that we do with our friends. These are the masks that we wear because we're all under self control. We could all be talking right now here at dinner, and if a attractive woman comes by, all of our self control can switch, right? Like we're gonna talk about her as soon as she's walked by. Who what were we talking about before? Distractions. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the ability to distract from the actual thing that's actually happening and manipulating it into a whole fucking production, right? Like it's got to be, if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead. Every day had trauma. Every day had drama. If it was from an outsourced source, if it was from her mother, if it was from her husband or stepfather fucking breaking shit, getting all alcoholic and throwing a fucking tantrum. I hope I'm not leaking too much of her information here because it happens to all of us. She's taking it personal that I'm mentioning in public her panic attack. You think you're the first one, girl? I remember my buddy having a fucking panic attack because he was trying to control his girlfriend and was abusive to her outside of Vegas. And I was yelling at him. I'm like, yo, bro, don't be doing that shit in front of me. Talking about you're gonna punch your girl, and he was very abusive to her. I didn't. We stopped hanging out because of that. There's levels to this shit. There's levels to this shit. There's levels to the mental abuse. There's levels to the amount of harassment. There's the levels to the amount of apologies. I'm not gonna ever get a sorry. This person would never sit like I should have never put hands on you. Me, I've already sent an email. I'm fucking sorry, bro. And even if I never see you again, it's okay. I'm sitting here in a life that was okay. It was definitely okay before I found you. I'm definitely not codependent on you. I might have codependent tendencies because I feel like we should build it together. We should be a family. We should lean into each other. We should be like the eagle meme that you showed me, and that we're bonded and we can never separate. Even if we hit the ground, we can never separate. Both of us were looking for that. Both of us want to get married but never be divorced. Both of us don't want anybody to let us down. And the thing is that it's easy to say someone else let us down, but that lacks accountability. It lacks some sort of responsibility for your actions in your future. I'm the one that cheated on her. Well, at least she'll like frame it on me, but she was the one that was throwing me the poly. Like, I want to be poly. I want to have access to you. I'm celibate, but I want to have access to this dick. And I'm like, you're making sure you don't have sex now, but you're making sure that you get to have sex later. The hypocrisy of it. I want to walk for an hour in the hot jungle on a Saturday night after we've already had closed everything down till I'm really tired. I need to go home and I want to go home alone. You're like, what's up with that? She could have easily just explained that I'm working on my a sound body of mind. I'm working on my boundaries. Apparently, I get hooked too often to people. Let's take our time. Let's stay celibate. I like you enough to not want to fuck you. Is what I was telling her under the full moon. She needed to tell me before she did fuck me. Like, I like you enough that I don't want to fuck you, right? Like, I don't want to ruin this because every time I have sex with someone, it just turns into sex. People only use me for sex, and then I feel resentful, right? That's a good pitch. You'd be like, that's an aware person. You're like, oh shit, no shit. Okay, you really like me, and in the future, you see a future with me, and you don't want to ruin it by fucking it up like you did in the past. Boom. That's a sound body and mind. I can't handle this argument right now because I'm too overheated. I'm gonna go for a walk, but I promise you, I'm coming back, and we will have a finish to this conversation. You will be heard. I just can't handle it right now because I don't feel heard. Super successful, non-narcissistic responses instead of ghosting, no contact, no email. It's fine. I mean, I just want to know if you're okay, baby's okay, life is okay. But we don't have to be in life together. This is okay that people go on without each other. It's okay that you find someone else because the whole time you had someone else. All these things are above board. What isn't above board is not accountability for the actions that have happened, for the abuse that has taken place, for the stonewalling, the physical hits, the verbal abuse. Like, my bathroom's too dirty. I'm a pretty clean person. Like, dude, I'll tell you if there's like piss stains or shit stains going around the thing. None of that. Just wasn't up to the par. And then I go to her house and it's not up to par either. You're not playing by the same rules anymore. You're willing to chew me out for things that you won't even willing to do for yourself. And then when the opportunity came to do it, you bought all the stuff, but you didn't do the work. I'll wait. I watch you make the bed. Here's the sheets that you wanted so bad. You make the bed, right? You need tissue wipes. Bring your own tissue wipes. You know, it was a conflict for everything. It was a, oh, my attitude is that you're gonna be one of those kind of husbands that's lazy. I'm gonna have to raise all the kids and do all the work. And it's like that was already a pessimistic attitude. Are you sure you really love me? Like, are you sure that I really love you? That's all that I would do? Like, I haven't been busting my ass for the past 10, 15 years to make this dream a reality, and that not only am I going to get to buy that fucking place, maybe not at the time and speed that you want it, but um, I get shit done. Like, the Tauruses are known for being lazy, but I get shit done. I felt really disrespected by you taking shots at how clean I was. That was very disrespectful. Making fun of my money situations, trying to degrade me because I only had like a week or 2 weeks where I was without money. Been here the whole time without you, bitch. And then all of a sudden it was uh, you're leaving tabs, and you got a bad reputation, and spreading the wrong rumors to me. The family you that let you live here for free and you've known for 15 years, they don't really like you, and they're like turning people against me, right? Basically. And I was like, okay, I'll start believing you. You would tell me the truth. You're my new lover, right? You're gonna guide me into the future, I hope, right? Like, disillusionment. So this is how they start pumping you with it.
Skills, talents, and prized possessions. They may also plan grand romantic gestures and flirt with you ceaselessly. But again, don't let yourself get too carried away, warns Dr. Days White. Because narcissists are notoriously skilled at using their charm and charisma to win people over. Do you relate to any of the things we've mentioned?
Yeah, I do relate to the things you mentioned because I do have charisma. I have studied people, and I did get a psych degree, and then I do want to have good outings. I went to my friend's party last night. I want to call my friends, they're kind of like the talk shit crew, but I still showed up, and I stood there with my sometimes self consciousness, sometimes bravery, but not to put on the bravado and not to put on the mask anymore. Just be, and just like, some people come up and talk to me, and I know it's hard because I'm kind of stoic and Bart, but the girl did apologize for yelling at me over her motorcycle, which I really fucking appreciate. I was like, I needed that. I needed to um, know that this. Well, it was also a little weird of the other apology. And it was like half-assed, and she was dancing around it. And she was like, I had a bad day, and I was gonna take it out on anybody. So it was like a half-assed apology. She had an excuse for it, right? And instead of saying I shouldn't treat people that way, like me, I shouldn't never put my hands on girls. Like, I keep walking away, and it's my deficit. It sucks, dude. That my dad being physical, my mom, in my head, I can be physically restraining the people that I love. My mom, her, like anybody that comes at me, I can stop. I'm like, stop, don't do that, don't do that to me. It triggers me, it gets me in a situation. I told her that before. I was like, whoa, 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 don't flex on me. Like, I can't handle it. And then I did. I walked out, and she started. All of a sudden, she went from crying to yelling at my back while I left. Right. This is what ends up happening. You can't see the forest through the trees. You can't see your own bullshit, and that's what happens with people. We want to believe what we want to believe, but we don't want to see what we really want to see. And this is something that I'm dawning on. Like, it's been hurting me pretty much all week. It's bled into my other relationships. It's been the topic of discussion. I feel like I'm in a narcissistic recovery, and I'm also going to see a psychologist. So I'll make sure it's not me, or if it is me, fix it. Because if it's meant to be, it's up to me, and it isn't going to be on somebody else. And I can't point the finger all day. One of these days, I'm going to actually have to paddle.
Watching this video make you realize that a narcissist might like you? Although a narcissist's actions are seemingly caring and heartfelt, it's important to remember that these behaviors do not necessarily indicate genuine interest or affection. After all, narcissists are known for being manipulative.
Right.
So, if you suspect someone is a narcissist, it's important to approach the relationship with caution and set boundaries to protect yourself. What are your thoughts on this video? Let it hit the notification bell to be notified of new content. Thanks so much for watching.
My thoughts on this video is that it's so true. It's true that we all exhibit a lot of these behaviors. And of course, you want to have the limelight. When you talk to your friends, of course, you want to talk more about you. And especially if you're emotional, you want to talk about what's on your mind and heart. Me, I pretty much do that every morning for the morning marijuana motivation. I wanted to prove that I didn't need the validation, right? I don't need this validation. I've done this show a lot. I'm actually thinking almost got 1,500, 2,000 videos up, and it hasn't gone viral. I don't actually want to go viral. I've had this conversation with my friend before. He seems to want to blow up and get followed by Drake and all this other shit. I don't want to be a meme. I don't want to be a thumbnail. I just want to get out my message. And that's what's at the core of my heart. My friend said maybe just go for a week without it, but it was a message. And if I really want the message to happen, I need to go back and edit the video, see what part of the messages I want. And this whole month, I'm going to just start editing video and come up with some reels and some drop some knowledge and some captions and shit, you know. Let's go. I appreciate it. Hard work and steadfastness. I can be alone. I was telling her I've been in jail, bro. Like nobody else was in that jail cell with me in South Korean prison. It's a reality, and I can sit here alone. This is a way better prison than South Korea. I can tell you what. In the fucking jungle, you know, staring at fucking trees and smoking trees in the breeze. Like my I don't have that bad, but I have been doing it a long time, and it is lonely in Lonely Beach. It's almost empty, but I got some shirts to make today. I'm back on my grind, cousin. I've been offloading a lot of fucking photos and videos and all these other things, but keeping myself busy, you know, keeping myself from being obsessive and really just so focused on this kind of ideal love that I thought was so perfect. She's so pretty and oh, disregard the red flags, disregard the checkered past, disregard the abuse, disregard the name calling or the picking apart. You know, just look past all these things. That's what true love is, and it's still love, bro. Because I can love everybody, bro. If you really want to be poly, I still got love for everybody, even my fucking haters, bro. I gotta see the pain in their eyes and see that they're human too and they're going through it. So, you know, you're gonna have haters. Haters are gonna make you famous. You're gonna have people that are gonna come into your life and they're blessing you with a lesson. For sure, there's a gift in this, and the gift for me was to learn about my own narcissism, to learn that I lacked empathy for some situations, that I need to be there for people more long term, especially when they're on fire. It's not to be the gasoline, and then also not to make sure I'm the punching bag and I'm the psychologist, not to make sure that just want to lean and it's only love if you can lean if they can handle all of it. And I'm telling you right now, no one's perfect. No one's coming with a bow matching the color that you like. You know, the everybody's coming with trauma, tragedy, and a past. You know what I mean? Like everybody's coming with their own. I think this was anxious, avoidant, and defensive attachment styles or whatever. Yeah. Everybody's got attachment styles. Everybody's got weaknesses. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna have a different way of approaching these things. So, in my world that I live in, you know, in my mind, in my soul, I'm going to step away from this because I keep feeling like this is my responsibility. And then I'm like, if you're a narcissist, then you're going to need the limelight. You're going to try to manipulate the story into your own way, and then you're going to paint yourself as the victim, and her the perpetrator. It's both, bro. We basically are two narcissists dating each other is what I really figured out. And one's grandiose and one's covert, and one's like outright about it, and one's still trying to pretend that that's what it is. And I think there's no growth there. I think unless you can start apologizing for your actions, at least you can start acknowledging it. I start talking with my friends, and then we switch it. And like, oh, see, now we're doing it. We're doing the narcissistic switch. We're like, I want to talk about my job and not having enough money. And I was like, but I just asked you your opinion on something. I just showed you photos. What do you think of the thing I just showed you? You just totally flipped the script and started talking about something else. That's a narcissistic way too. Are we friends because we're narcissists? And and what level of narcissism do all your friends have? And then you just start labeling everybody and psychoanalyzing everybody and all this psycho bible bullshit. You know, it's enough to miss the bus. I'm saying as a human, I need to treat humans better. And if I want to be really honest about myself and stop putting the fucking mask that the world gets to see, take that one off and start showing the world the one that I show my friends more often and the one that I show myself, the same mask. I'm trying to combine the masks. I'm trying to combine the behaviors. You know what I mean? I'm trying to eliminate the mistakes. And that's why I'm starting to see a psychologist. So I got this month, I got 6 sessions I'm going to try to pay for and get done. And I'm going to concentrate on that. So in my concentration, I'm doing audiobooks, and I kind of will do audiobooks and reviews, but I do this thing fucking all day, every day. It's about time I get my mornings back. It's about time that I meditate for this hour and really sit with it, because it was in my heart. Like, I'm like, how can I be so in love with this person? And how can it go so wrong? How did it get so physical so fast in such a short amount of time? How did it explode? And how do I not do that again? Me, accountability, not you. You can do whatever the fuck you want. That's on your side of the fence. Me, like, I can't blame it on all the women. I can't be like, oh, I gotta find better women. I can blame it on myself. I can't be getting handsy. I can't let them get me that way. And sure, I can say don't date girls that trigger you like that. And luckily, I have, found girls. I've been in multiple relationships where it wasn't like that. So it helps me see what's different and what's possible. And that's why I wanted you guys to get this show this morning. You know what I mean? Is that's what I wanted you to do, is to see things with your own eyes. You know, real eyes, real lies, real lies. So when I have fucking retards in the background doing their thing, I'm signing off for a month, maybe a week. Up to my buddies. We'll see if anybody gives a shit. I'm only talking to myself and my narcissism anyway. So I'm not here to impress anyone. I don't need my narcissism. I thought the message was helping people genuinely, and I thought by me being genuine about my situation, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, me too, man. Yeah, she got really weird on our first date," or um, 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 she started to pick my place apart, or she got handsy with me first. The dude, all red flags that I'm noticing as a man, and as a woman, as a narcissistic man, her fight or flight instincts kicked in automatically. If you have any kind of reaction that way, follow your gut. Please don't come back to the beach, bro. Like, if you really felt that type of way, please don't come back to the beach and rekindle with me. Don't rebuild me up on this idea of family and fatherhood. It's malicious, and if you really are who you say you are, you'll be able to back it up all day, every day. And that's what I think that I am. I'm like, as much as my narcissism, like, I've hurt my siblings, and I'm not as nice as I need to be with my parents. And Lord knows I got some friends that aren't friends anymore. I've exhausted them. But I am in practice. I'm under growth. I'm learning. And I'm learning from experts. And thanks to my friends for having psychologists that I can talk to, thanks to my friends that I can talk to and burn them out about all of this. And I will get to the bottom of it. I finally understood what the beast looked like, and how to battle it. And the beast is within me. I need to be more patient. I need to be more understanding. Practice empathy, practice giving. I need to be more spiritual. I need to connect in a deeper level, and not be so afraid of my level, like going out with my friends and stuff. Like, I'm going a deeper level. I'm starting to see your heart chakra than your eyes. I'm starting to fixate on the human being in front of me, another breathing, emotional creature, versus this Machiavellian technique where they are in the social hierarchy. Do I even want to be talking to them? These kind of things. So I'm being honest about it, because the honesty gives me positivity. It gives me real growth, and that's what I'm seeking in this journey. It's like, man, I traveled the whole world for a whole year, and all of a sudden just got blasted out of the sky. I didn't feel like I had any love in my heart. I was all confused, and nobody loved me, till all of a sudden the perfect person loved me, and I was so in love, and I was willing to get fucking married. I asked somebody to marry me, bro. So that's why I needed to slow down with the show. It's easy to kind of keep track of this stuff, but it's going to be just assuming it, because it's consumed my mind. Like, who did I almost just get married to? Like, who is this person? She's asking, who am I? And how fast we moved, and how tumultuous it was, and how toxic everything got. And I'm like, I didn't consider myself a toxic person, but if I've been in a toxic relationship, something has happened to me. And I didn't consider myself that much narcissism, but it was kind of flipping in my head, and now I'm definitely considering myself that. And for the future on, that's what I'm going to be going with, a warning label. I'll be like, you don't want to date me. I'm a broken man. I'm unhealed. I get handsy. I try to be controlling, and I have narcissistic tendencies, which means low empathy. I expect people to have their own inside happiness, their own mental health, emotionally regulate is huge for me, because I've been working really hard on it for myself. And if you're unregulated, it's gonna fucking throw my shit off. And I'm gonna need some radical honesty. So it means even if you have to tell me the stuff that's gonna make you look bad, I'm gonna need to hear it. No, don't powder sugar me, and love bomb me or whatever. And for real though, consistency, right? You got to exhibit the behavior. We're no longer accepting apologies, just change behavior. And that includes me. So my new change behavior for all my toxic traits is to be upfront about it and be like, I do have some narcissistic tendencies. I do have a whole, it's the Mark show as well. And I like to think that people are paying attention to it. They tell me, they'll ask me, are you going to do the morning motivation? But not as often as in much. And I can see my viewership, mostly it's my ex and her friends trying to call me a narcissist. And here I am, as narcissistic and honestly as I can possibly be. There are me continuing arguments. There is me with lack of empathy. There is me. Um, I didn't want to join into it. My father didn't join in it when I was a kid, and I didn't want to join into it this time. Like, it's just something where I was just like, that doesn't look like fun. Your misery doesn't look like fun to me. And maybe empathy is that, where you take on someone's misery and you hold a little bit of their sorrow for them. I might need to learn that. I'm on some, there's sunshine, bro. Let's exercise. Let's motivate, right? Like, let's turn this frown upside down. There's only so many days left. And why are you so tired? Why are you sleeping so much? And why can't you change your moods? Or why are your moods swinging so fast? And why is it so extreme? I mean, I just put the fan on you, bro. You don't yell at people for the fan. But I'll never get an apology for it. I'm sitting here profusely apologizing. I'm fucking sorry, dude. Like, I'm always making this mistake. This is the second time I made this mistake. I swore to myself if I had another chance, I wouldn't cheat or get physical again. And what did I do? I cheat and I got physical again. So um, it's my own insecurities. I can't handle my girl running off, having a good time without me on a motorcycle with somebody else for 4 days. It would have been different if she came back that night, but it happened the way it was supposed to happen. She was supposed to see my infidelity on a full moon. Um, Everything happens for a reason. Maybe I needed to see the real her, and maybe she needed to see the real me. And the real me is scary. You don't want to wrestle with me. I know how to wrestle. Don't get physical with me, especially 6 different times. And by the last time, I was like, stop, bro. Kind of like, stop headbutting me, stop kicking me in my groin. This just has to stop. And it did. What are you gonna do? Hit me? No, I don't need to hit you. I don't need to hit you. I don't hate you. You have hate in your eyes, but me, I'm trying to bring some love and understanding, and it's not working for you. So be it, right? Some people have different love languages. Some people can be a snake charmer. For a minute, I thought she was believing it, but then we all go back to our childhood, and we all go back to our spank bank, and we all go back to our regrets, and we go, wait, maybe that's not right. Maybe that isn't right. There's another thing that I was gonna do. Uh, that was pretty good. I think it's this one. What happens when you ignore or abandon a narcissist?
That door is still open. That's why.
Oh, that's just 24 minutes. This is way too long. Sorry, she gets on and on. Only a super empath can destroy a narcissist. Here's how. So she called herself a super empath. I'm the narcissist in the scenario. Leg
Hey
out.
everybody, welcome to Psychology Element. There's nothing a narcissist loves more than an empath. What's not to like? Their good nature makes them willing to believe everyone is good-natured and of equal value of the same kindness. They want to help people in need, especially those who are vulnerable, or at least appear vulnerable. The narcissist's perfectly crafted tragic backstory, filled with stories of them being a victim, will make the empath rush in to help.
Or maybe I'm the empath and I was just like, oh no, what had happened? Well, tell me all your tragedies. Let me be the listener. Let me be the psychologist in the situation. Let me take that position as the helper almost automatically. Maybe I can fix you like my mom. It's kind of weird, but I don't think I'm that empathetic either. There's no way I'm a super empath, but I'm definitely not callous. I love children. I love pets. Not I love pets, but I love petting dogs and cats. Not so much when they're around Thailand and shit. But I'm not perfect either. I saw her. I approached her. I saw something in her. The whole fucking world started to slow down for me. That's not a joke. So that definitely fucked with my head. There's something she couldn't do is give that kind of effect. But maybe we were doing it.
Only friendly and non-judgmental nature will make an empath feel like they can confide in them, trust them with their secrets. All of this makes them easy prey for the narcissist. Too often, empaths who aren't as emotionally strong get wrapped up in a narcissist's manipulations.
Often, this happens because empaths notoriously have low self-esteem, making them more prone to falling for a narcissist's gaslighting and becoming dependent on them. However, there are some empaths who are unsusceptible to a narcissist's tricks. There are a few different names for these types of empaths, as researchers have yet to coin a term for them yet. But they're a type of empath who doesn't meet the typical empath profile. For the purpose of this video, we are going to refer to them as super empaths. If you are an empath who feels you might have a narcissist manipulating you, and you're wondering if you have what it takes to destroy a narcissist's ego, keep watching. Because today's great psychological video is how and why a super empath can destroy a narcissist. Be sure to stick around until the end, because we're going to go into some great content. You don't want to miss it.
I'm not missing it.
Before we dive in further, we're going to go through the traits of a super empath and how to turn your empathy into your own superpower.
Let's go.
Traits of a super empath. They're sensitive to their surroundings, attuned to other people's moods, introverted, intuitive, easily overwhelmed or taken advantage of in intimate relationships or friendships, difficulty not caring about others for unselfish reasons.
Get notified when hotel prices drop, so you can book at the best price. Download and save now.
Reasons. Strong core identity. Attuned to other people's moods, introverted, intuitive, easily overwhelmed or taken advantage of in intimate relationships or friendships, difficulty not caring about others for unselfish reasons, strong core identity, honest and frank. Although it might seem as though all empaths are naive and easily manipulated, the super empath doesn't stand for it. Their honesty and frankness and self-love stumps the narcissist when their harsh, cold insults used to devalue them don't work. Super empaths have a strong enough self-image to use their empathic powers to defeat even the most cunning and calculated narcissists.
It sounds like narcissism already to me, and that's what's weird about it, that they have superpowers that other people don't. Bro, there's a lot of people that see other people. There's 12 different zodiac signs, bro. There's people from all over the world, 256 countries. You think you're the first person to sense someone, you know? Like, people can do that in a bank line, bro. I heard the story the other day. The chick said, "Are you all right?" And it, like, stopped his whole show. He had been living in denial the whole time, being a porn star, living by this one name. Everybody called him that, everyone, for the last couple of years. And somebody, the name his mother gave him, somebody called him that. "Jacob, are you okay? You, like, would you call me? Called you by your name." We live in disassociated world. I go by Mark Saint, but I'm Francis Mark Saint Arnaud the Sixth. Like, I have a full name. I just combined it, but it's like an alias. It's almost like my alias online, right? Like, I have a whole persona, right? You get online and you're like all pumped up. I've seen people take the selfies and then not smile after. We're all susceptible to these two-faced lies and manipulations. This one's going on about you having more special skills than someone else. That's just not true. All of us feel this way. Like, this isn't all of us thing. This isn't just you. Like, of course we saw bullshit. I saw bullshit too. I was just calling bullshit. I was like, what is this bullshit going home, man? If you could articulated and communicated like a grown person, like, this is just my boundaries because I get too attached to people too soon, or I really like you and I want this to work out, instead of just disappearing and no communication, like an amateur, like immaturity. This is the ambiguousness that people leave you with. This is like I don't have the balls enough to say it, so now I got to do like a 2-hour show and make it.
Narcissists might be masters at reeling in the good-hearted, trusting, and caring empaths, but if they mess with the wrong empath, whose traits are stronger than others and know who they are underneath the manipulative lies, they can make any narcissist crumble. Remember though, people diagnosed with a narcissistic personality disorder can sometimes be dangerous. This doesn't need to mean they're violent, but they can cause distress and harm in your lives if you're not careful. Getting revenge or being determined to prove them wrong will only fuel the narcissist, giving them even more narcissistic supply.
No, we're on full no contact, but it did get violent. You know, she tried to kick my fucking head off, bro, and I restrained her. You know, and then both narcissists are doing the same thing. What I'm trying to explain is I see the position switching. It's like sometimes you're passive aggressive, sometimes you're the victim. You also can be the victim and the narcissist in the same way. You can be malignant, you could be covert, you can do all these things. And there was another one I'm going to go in. Oh, it's the guy that talked about his is it the 31st yet? think today's, no, it's May 1st already here. Yeah. First of the month. This is going to be a whole month without it. Let's go.
Narcissists thrive off any attention or reaction, whether it's positive or negative. We at Psychology Element will never recommend acting in this manner for fun or to actively hurt a narcissist. Only do it to escape them. If you're in a situation where you feel it's necessary, be sure to have a large support group who knows what is happening.
Yep.
This is also important in case they decide to engage in a smear campaign to isolate you from supportive people.
I feel like I've been on the smear campaign. I felt like I was the one she had to escape from. She's tiptoeing around me and shit. But I also felt like an adult, like I could handle it. When her friend told me to go contact her, I was like, I was there all day, bro. Nothing happened. And he's like, go talk to her. I go talk to her. And he's like, don't fight like school children. As long as you guys don't fight like school. He said the word fight, and sure as shit, he was right. I had no clue I was going to get in a fight that day. I had no clue that the person that was laying down in the ground was going to be attacking me. I didn't know there was that amount of, like, hot, cold to hot. They won't admit it. As a narcissist, they won't admit it. I mean, I admit that I can go on like rants. That's why I do in the morning motivation. I'm a talker. That's what the other guy was saying. It's just the way that I express myself. That's the way my family expresses themselves. We're all talkers, and they say big talkers, big salesmen are the narcissists. So it fits my profile as being a narcissist of telling grandiose stories and getting violent and losing my temper. Lord knows.
You want people who love you to know that they might hear lies or your words taken out of context to hurt you, but let them know in advance. Taking this lightly can result in damaging consequences if you're not careful. You never know the dark ideas they might have in their minds. So, if you're ready to hear how to destroy a narcissist with your empathetic powers, let's get started. Number 1, their intuition can detect manipulations. Empaths are very underestimated, especially super empaths. They're good natured.
I felt that every time she was using the word manipulation, she was manipulating me. It's like anybody that's aware of those things, they're like, hey, you're manipulating, or I'm talking about boundaries or narcissism a lot. She was well versed in this stuff. I had to like learn it up. It wasn't something that I throw around that often, and now I see it everywhere. It's like once you focus on something, it expands. I don't want to sit there and just go narcissist, non-narcissist, narcissist, non-narcissist. I want to say, does it work or not? Drama queen or peaceful? Getting the best out of me or getting the worst out of me? It was clear that toxic behavior is when you're getting the worst out of somebody. When all you can do is just argue, battle each other with, Chinese chess, you did this, you did that, and then I react this way, you'd react that way, instead of actually just going, can we change the behavior? Can we sit here and actually become adults? That's the key to this. This is regardless of where if you feel you're a super empath or a narcissist, you're switching positions all the time.
Personalities and tendency to be over trusting can make them seem naive, gullible, or incapable of standing up for themselves. It's true, empaths can be naive and fall for lies because they see the best in everyone. This might get them into a tricky situation with a narcissist because their guards were down at the beginning. However, unlike people with lower empathy, they're more intuitive and can see patterns developing much faster before they're in too deep. Super empaths can feel emotions and detect motives quickly, so the moment an empath feels maliciousness, especially when it's so far off from their own natural state, they know something is wrong.
That's what happened with me that first night. She was gone for a week, and that's why I really didn't want to sleep with her under the full moon, truth be told. All the things that were in me, but I knew if I started fucking her, I would give my power over to her, and then I would be connected to her. And it was like, wait a minute, you've been gone too long. I can't just consummate immediately after. Like, there's got to be some reconciliation.
Normally, a narcissist can't keep their masks on for an extended period of time and try to leave their partners dependent on them quickly. But the empath isn't nearly as gullible as you might think. It might take them a while to realize the narcissist is lying to make you swoon over them. But as soon as...
Maybe she didn't want to consummate. I definitely wanted you to be stigmatized on me. I definitely wanted you to be connected to me. That's how I connect with people sexually. I wanted you to get bonded. You know what I mean? And I think you were pulling away because you didn't want to get bonded. You didn't want to get that kind of way. And then I let you. And then a week went by, and then I still wasn't going to do it. I went with the celibacy route with you, which was confusing me because sometimes we would be having sex, sometimes we're not. And that's I felt like it was like your show that you had the switch instead of both of us enjoying and both of us getting off. It was what you gave me. It was a transactional. It was a gift instead of both of us enjoying. I couldn't believe it. Never had sex like that.
Their mask begins to slip, the empath catches on. Number 2, they often have a core identity and high levels of self-worth. Super empaths have high levels of self-esteem, self-worth, and a strong sense of identity. If you've ever wondered why having a good sense of self is important, because it is a bit of an abstract concept, here's a perfect example.
By the way, that's why they say narcissism is good in children, because they are trying to develop their identity. And some of these things, especially in the real world, when you're trying to get a job, they want these things. You want to be charismatic. You want to have the ability to look people in the eye, answer questions, be there, bro. Be a human. They want to make sure that they're hiring a human, right? You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to get the best candidate, and especially when you're dating, you want somebody that's with it, and preferably not wearing a mask.
Gaslighting is a common manipulation tactic used by narcissists. The term is derived from the 1944 film titled Gaslighting and surrounds itself around a married couple. Slowly, the wife starts believing she's insane and loses sight of who she is. Meanwhile, the husband is repeatedly dimming the gas lanterns and telling his wife she's hallucinating when she comments on the changing lights. Eventually, she's driven into insanity. So, how could a strong sense
and malignant? That's fucking crazy. Who's got time to sit there and fuck with someone's mind and the lights and then lie to them about it? Definitely run. That's just fucking crazy. What I was saying is about she was always dropping the gaslighting. Is anytime I would say some praise or praise on it, like, dude, I really fucking care about you, man. This like means a lot to me, right? She was like, you're gaslighting me. And then after she ran off, I felt so insecure that I went and slept with someone else. So in my narcissism, I went and retaliated, I guess. But mostly was done with her games. In my mind, I was just like, I'm done with your games, dude. I'm done with the taking off without explanation. I'm done with the days of disappearing. I'm done with the sex game. You play too much for me, actually, is what I told her. And not yelling and not calling anybody any fucking names. Just come get your stuff and whatever. But for some reason, I think she wasn't done with the narcissistic supply with me either. She's still trying to figure it out. I think we were still in love. I felt like it was love. Even if I slept with someone else, right? I can have sex with someone else and still be in love with someone else. I'm supposed to be poly this way, you know? Anytime you can't have sex, why would you want me not to have sex, kind of thing? And then I sound like the narcissist because I want what I want, and now I've hurt people by getting what I want, and then I've used people for sex instead of loving them, and I can't love them because I love someone else, and then I become a character flaw, you know, that I can't be counted on not to cheat on someone, that my infidelity is at risk, that I'm so insecure inside that I need to go seek it from someone else. And for reals, it was just less headache. I have to say that for my own sake, bro. It was just less headache. The other person was just having more sex, less excuses, wasn't fucking talking shit the whole fucking time, was fun to be around, wasn't moody. You know what I mean? Like, bro, dating two people at the same time got me to see both sides of a coin, where one person was asking me, how are you, and actually wanting to know, and the other person was just never asked at all, right? You know what I mean? It was always that show. And as long as it was her show, she was in on it. You know what I mean? It was like, yay, all attention on me. I don't think she knows it. Especially when you play the victim, you give more attention. Oh, you poor thing. He put you in a headlock. I'm sure you're telling everybody that. Did you tell him how you were trying to grab the phone out of my hand and breaking it on the ground? Did you tell him that you actually tried to physically kick my head? Even if you found out I was in infidelity, attacking me, swinging on me, and then actually trying to physically kick my head, well, I would have been knocked out. Then what? Then what? No. It's easier to ignore. It's easier to go no contact. It's easier to not grow. And it's scary to admit this shit. This is why I do it on live, because it's like, you know, and the truth needs to see some light. You know, I'm not a victim. I'm literally a product of my family. And I had to look at my mom, sometimes be the sweetest bitch in the world. I love my mom, but she can be a bitch. And I told her, no, you're being a bitch. You know, you called me a bitch. No, you just twisted it. I said, you're being a bitch. I didn't say you fucking bitch. You know what I mean? But yeah, even her with her badass mood swings and shooting people and saying the most ruthless, rude things, and then acting like nothing ever fucking happened the next minute. It's like, where are you at with your manic depression? Where are you at with your fucking bipolar disorder? And why has everybody else got to tiptoe around you and your bipolar disorder? Everybody else is walking around keeping their mask on, or at least in public, handling their shit. It's a better way to handle it. Okay, you're too sensitive. The world isn't that sensitive. And now I sound like the asshole because I'm telling the truth and something, multiple people have told you. It's the truth. The reason is because other people are playing by Machiavellian techniques. There are people jockeying for position in business. There are people that have not less than nothing, and it can be a very dog eat dog world out there. You got to protect yourself at all times. 38 laws of power. Everyone's jockeying for position. Everybody's virtue signaling. Everybody wants to have admiration and be followed. We all want the likes. That's why you keep posting. You know what I mean? Like, if you could just go without it, a whole year without social media, dude, it's been so freeing. I never want to touch it again, man. I get my fucking Brazilian secretaries to finish it for me. It's dope. But, living in reality, talking to people instead of texting, clearing the air instead of confusion, leaving people hanging, power moves, all about power and control. Who has power in me? Who am I to let have power in me? No one will ever have control over me. Shit, I've been to prison. People do have control over you. The cops can have control over you. The government has control over you. You can't grow weed in your spot? Boom, they got control over you. There's so many forms of control, and we as men, we're going to want to be in a leadership role. And these girls are asking us to be dominant, but when we're dominant and we want to lead the way or tell them which way to go, God forbid you suggest something that they wear, or ask them to change their mood. You know what I mean? It's going to be like a adult child dynamic, or a coach athlete dynamic. Some women are really subservient. Some women are really dominant. I mean, fucking years of dominatrix stuff. You're going to be abusing men. You're going to be fucking talking down to them. You're going to make them less than you. You're going to be actually kind of like a male hater. Like, you don't want to say it, but like, you got the male hater thing going on. And they talk about this in the red pill community a lot, right? About girls that have these kind of signalings that they're going to be into the tarot cards and astrology, that they're going to have a lot of tragedy and drama, that they only want the guys with the money, that their sexual promiscuous past will make them less desirable in the future, and less trustable, right? What else would they say in the red pill community? They gotta love you more than they love themselves. Because if they stay on the narcissism and just love themselves and it's always self-care, then there's no care for you. So the aftercare I wasn't receiving. And I thought dominatrixes were supposed to give aftercare. But anyway, there was no aftercare. And I shouldn't care, right? I mean, everybody has a past. But what I'm saying is, what does that say about your future? What impact of our lives, of the work we do, what impact of our lives, of the service we are to others, and how does it affect you, right? Like, how's it affected me to be alone and have my own business for a long time? I said narcissists can't work with others. I like owning my own business. I like calling my own shots. I have a team around me. I worked well with that team, and we know the concept of teamwork, but captain of the ship, too straight with people. So I've heard people not like the way that I talk to them. And I was like, I'm not even cursing at you. And you're like, you're diminutive. You're talking down to people. It's your tone. It's your attitude. You're too intense. And I've been hearing that for years. So it's on me, partially me too. So, maybe it's her reaction. Maybe it's my projection. Maybe sometimes it's her projecting upon me. Maybe it's my fucking crazy neighbors being loud again. Let me go.
Identity have helped the wife in the classic movie. Well, if she had high self-esteem and knew exactly who she was, do you think she would have believed she was hallucinating? She probably would have looked back on her life and thought of all the times she hallucinated. noticing it was 0, and told her
Right.
husband to fix the lights because he's the crazy one for not noticing.
Right.
A super empath with high self-esteem knows their worth and doesn't forget who they are, even when someone is telling them they're wrong or crazy. Instead, they might drive the narcissist crazy.
Yes, definitely. I called her batshit crazy. I was like, bro, this is not typical. The first date stuff, you're blowing the first date. I don't even want to have a booger in my beard on a first date. Most people want to look their best, and here it was, not being able to communicate and express yourself clearly, showing clear signs of mental instability. And this is one of the reasons I was trying to get rid of you. You think it's like me chasing you. I'm like, this is what a narcissist would do. Like, oh man, I'm trying to get back with somebody that was trying to hit me. I wrote down a whole list. It didn't take me fucking long of all the bad things that had happened in less than 3 months. Like more like 2 months. I only spent a month with this person of total time, days separated and whatever, of total time. 30 total days, and all 30 days were filled with trauma, drama. And you can say I'm the trigger. You can say I'm the one that's making it all bad. But goddamn, man, you didn't make it any better. And I'm just like, wow, bro, you can be so. I know my self worth. So I know my own self worth. I'm over here going like I busted my ass to get to this level, and I tell people all the time I want to keep it peaceful. I don't want to have people saying "fuck you" in the morning or screaming, even next door neighbors. It's like this isn't in good vibrations, you know. And I'm not cursing at you either. And the moment I did, the last argument, the last fight, the moment I did is the moment I lost my temper. I acted like you and projecting like you. I started mirroring the narcissist, and they didn't like it. And she's saying she's doing the same to me, mirroring me. Bro, I never got on you. It's not like that. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be in physical relationships. It's a huge red flag for me. I got abused as a child, but you never asked. You never asked. You never asked long enough to get to know me. Like if anything gets physical, I get scared, and then I gotta stop it. I got to.
Making them a
Stop
conquest.
attacking me.
Their empathy makes them perfect for giving the attention they crave, and their self-esteem makes them both attractive, envious, and unattainable. If you like what you're hearing and want more free, narcissists are, well, narcissistic. They tend to think they're the smartest people in the room and the only ones incapable of preserving information. It's true, the average person isn't always listening to the important details. The thing with narcissists is that they often don't remember or care to listen to the good details about you. If you bring up positive accomplishments, they'll either ignore them or quickly devalue them, often even pushing them out of their memory. Instead, they keep a mental database of everything less than perfect you've ever done. A super empath, in contrast, genuinely cares. When a narcissist is being vulnerable, even if their stories are twisted with lies, an empath listens. And they remember everything. The good and the bad.
True.
Sure, a narcissist might use your flaws and mistakes against you to emotionally blackmail you, but they will forget the small important details, like incorrect names or other facts, due to not listening, which can
Busted. If your fucking stories can't stay straight, you know what I mean? You're busted. If your actions are inconsistent, you're busted. Um, it's important to hear people. You know, I know a lot of people are embellishing, like we were talking about earlier. But when I'm sitting there thinking about my own narcissism in these situations, and I'm talking about it honestly, like this other guy did. I was going to do a whole another video of him. He went 5 years into seeing people, and when you're telling stories or elaborating, it's clear to be clear with people. You know, especially when it's a serious note. When it was time to do a ritual, full moon ritual, and be real with each other, and write down what we didn't like and burn it and all that good stuff. You know, we faced each other. We had to face what we felt about each other. We had to say all those things. And it's like, if you are not so egotistical, you'll be able to take those things. If you are still trying to defend some kind of image that you got, the mask that you put onto the world, you'll be so fragile. You'll never be able to get growth. You'll never be able to see it the way that other people see it. You'll only be able to see your own farts and your own shits and smells like poo poo. You're not going to be able to smell your own shit. And then you're going to believe your own shit. You're going to believe that you're always righteous. There's no way that you did anything wrong. And it was just like both of us, man. Both of us switching up times to get love bomb each other. Both of us gaslighting each other that we could have a future and a future bomb. I don't even know what the fuck that's called. Future plan. And both parties are going to go do this, even if you're in normal love, right? toxic love, it doesn't have to go sideways, man. It doesn't have to go sideways, you know. I don't. I didn't know that I needed the empathy. I didn't get much stories out to get empathy. It was like really interesting, but you know, this is why you got to get to know people. This is why you got to vet people. People are going to be. This other guy, his wife left him, and he kept going to fucking the thing, and she came back because they had kids. But you're gonna learn.
Ruin their credibility. In contrast, an empath will remember everything the narcissist ever told them. They will know exactly what to say to turn the tables back on the narcissist and retain control of the situation by humiliating them.
That's a narcissist move. To humiliate someone? No. You would be like, well, wait, didn't you tell me that we're just business partners? I mean, what? You know, why are you sleeping with him then? You know, why are you sleeping with your friends? If he's just a friend, then you're running off with the motorcycle with just a friend. That means you can fuck him because you fuck your friends. That doesn't make sense. It's hypocritical. You're celibate, but you're still having sex with me. You're confusing me constantly with the mixed messages, and when I call you out on it, you get furious.
Humiliation is a narcissist's biggest weakness. Super empaths don't revel in humiliating people or inflicting pain, but they'll do whatever is necessary. Number 4.
That's pretty Machiavellian right there. Do whatever's necessary, win at all costs. It's definitely narcissistic as fuck. I love how these spiritual narcissists exist. It's like people pretend like they're fucking floating on air and they don't care. Bro, it's everywhere. It's all over social media. It's all of us jockeying for position. It's all of us wanting better in life, especially this high life, high fashion, high luxury lifestyle. Bro, I'm sitting in my fucking underwear with a broken bungalow behind me, and I didn't even comb my hair. Like, oh, look, there's a beautiful butterfly on my shirt. Oh, it flew away. Let's see beautiful butterflies. Oh, wait, no, there it is right there. Wow. So, yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to go over here and say I'm perfect. I'm going to assume that I'm a narcissist from here on out so I don't hurt any more people. I'm going to start, I've been wanting to treat people better as on my list of my goals, but there's no virtue signaling here. I have to see a psychologist. There's weakness. I just called her yesterday. It was a good conversation. And it was inspired by this other guy that did his 5 years of learning about narcissism.
Empaths have cognitive and affective empathy. Unlike narcissists, who have major impairments in their affective empathy but can still manage some cognitive empathy, their counterparts have both. Super empaths can use their previous experiences with them where they sensed true vulnerability to their advantage. Along with that, they can also feel when their emotions begin to move from cool and collected and when they're about to crack with rage or shame.
Bro, that is so narcissistic, man. If you have so much shame that you got to cover it up, that you can't face it, that it hurts you so bad, that it tears you up inside. You know, my father didn't love me, it tears me up inside. You know, I'm mean to my mom, tears me up inside. I was abusive to my siblings, tears me up inside. And I mean, she would bring these things up and use it against me. And there's been abuse in my relationships and infidelity. And all these other girls left me, used it against me. They must be leaving me for some reason. All could be true. Same for you. Like, bro, all the people that have left you, or they're all narcissists, the denominator is you. You date narcissists, odds are you're a narcissist. If it's hard to say anything about you, if you can't take a bit of narcissism, you're lying on your spectrum. It means you have no self-confidence. That means you have no vision of what you look like in pictures. You know what I mean? It means that this is the reason why you want to model and take pictures. It's a whole fucking thing. It's just like, you got to be fucking self-aware. And I see that myself, I'm obsessing about it because it was like, I was asking someone to marry me, bro. Have children with. And right now, with no contact, I wanted to figure it out. I'm too intense. Every time I come around, you got to deal with me. I did the same thing with my ex. Now you guys got to deal with me. I'm too much. I'm going to turn that shit down. This is up to me. I'm not interested in bleeding on over people. I'm grateful that I have a circle of influence. I'm grateful I have long-term friends. I called up my friends. Am I narcissistic? They're like, no. I mean, like, we know you got an ego, but like, I wouldn't call you a narcissist. Okay, cool, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, call my other friend. Are we narcissistic? Are me and you narcissistic? Because we keep switching to our subjects that we want to talk about and not keep on subject. Like possibly, she's a dominatrix too. I have all my friends are dominatrixes, and they all have issues. The one I got the therapist number from, she's a dominatrix, and she's got men issues. And it's hard to respect a man. It's hard to find a man that's alpha enough to out dom a dom, and then not be controlling, and then be empathetic and be this superhuman. And they said they're just rare. It's rare to see people put aside themselves and be servitude to someone else. They much rather have someone else be the slave and do all the work and provide everything. It's like nobody wants to be a partnership. Nobody wants to be partners in crime, partners in emotions, partners in stability, partners in accountability. Your accountability partner, what you need when you're working out, someone to say, hey man, you remember you said you want to lose weight, let's go.
Although it's rare for an empath, let alone a super empath, to use their empathy manipulatively, it's the only thing that really stumps a narcissist, because it's one thing they'll always lack. Number 5, super empaths are unsuspecting. Like we already mentioned, empaths and super empaths give off a naive innocence that makes them appear as if they'll be easy prey for the narcissist. It's likely the narcissist walks into the relationship assuming they will be the one to destroy the empath, regardless of if it's deserved.
Bro, I've seen actual people that are nice and naive, and it's actually quite shitty, because I told them that. I sent them that 48 Laws of Power, so you don't want to be taken advantage of, right? You can be naive to a point and still be too nice, even say sorry to people. I've seen people with low self-esteem not even stick up for themselves. That shit happens too.
However, empaths don't like to be wronged by others. They're kind, nurturing, and forgiving until someone crosses them. Then, they're unafraid to make sure some justice is made, usually by acting in the same manner as they did. After all, they learned from the best. Super empaths are honest and frank. They don't like to beat around the bush and won't play the games the narcissist wants to play. When the narcissist threatens to ruin the empath's reputation by sharing secrets to keep them dependent, the super empath will share their secrets first. Although empaths feel shame and guilt, they will take the narcissist's power.
Now, I've said some things on this show, and I've said some stuff that I probably shouldn't have said, like, the panic attack. I think that was a trigger for her. But it could happen with anyone. Like I said, I tell my story of my friends in Vegas when he was also having a panic attack and tripping on his girlfriend and being abusive to her. I checked him like a smog too, and I checked myself like a smog too. Like, everybody's checkable here, bro. There's nobody getting no free passes. Everything has to be above board. You got to call your shots and get called out on the shots that you took. I will forever be responsible for putting my hands on people, intimidating them, scaring them, like the dark traits of a Taurus, and being just too intense. I'm grateful to say that I haven't swung on anybody. Nobody's getting this out of me. I don't even want any of that energy. It's the reason why I left the BU seminar. They started punching the fucking couches or the back of the chairs and shit. And I was like, bro, I don't want any more violence in my life. And that was my trigger. That physical, that verbal, that, like, come on, man, just be cool, just be nice, stay that way. If you're gonna match fire with fire, you're only getting more fire. This is the opposite of Mahatma Gandhi. This is the opposite of Martin Luther King, of what's the word, peaceful resistance. Like, you just don't have to engage. That was my thing. Walk away from the anger. Don't participate. You don't need to get angry. It's not going to help anything. This is all of jockeying for control.
Away at every opportunity, and that will destroy the narcissist. And that's a wrap. What did you think of this list?
Okay, so we got it done. Let me see. I got 15 more minutes here. I want to play this guy because he was so forthright about and honest about his narcissism. And this is what I think is a healed narcissist or a recovering narcissist, of what I've been studying. And this is the level that I want to get to.
Nice
Seeing
guys,
people,
dude.
oops, I don't know. Get to this level, and it says, I am a narcissist, this guy right here.
Narcissists have been around. So hi, my name is Lee Hammock. I'm a diagnosed narcissist, and I'm here to bust some myths and tell you what it's all about from a narcissist perspective. So my name is Lee Hammock. I have been clinically diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I am 37 years old. I built a platform of over 2 billion people on social media by, discussing narcissistic personality disorder, the traits that come along with it, helping people understand it from the perspective of someone who's actually diagnosed with it, as opposed to just getting information just from all over the internet or whatever. Because there's a lot of conflicting things out there about narcissism. So I feel like the best source sometimes, not all the time, is coming directly from, a person diagnosed with it.
Okay, so we've all heard the word narcissist a lot lately.
Lindsay kicked things off by announcing he'd hired 2 psychologists to evaluate Donald Trump, who diagnosed him as 10 out of 10 narcissist. That's right. You hear that? I'm 10 out of 10. I don't know what narcissist means, but if it's about me, it's gotta be good.
And there have been more than a few examples on our screens.
I'm sorry that people are so jealous of me, but I can't help it that I'm popular.
What is narcissistic personality disorder?
Diagnosed NPD is when you actually go to a clinical psychologist or therapist, whoever you see for your mental health issues and things like that, when they take you through the process of, seeing if you meet the criteria to be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder or any other cluster B personality disorders like borderline, histrionic, antisocial, and anything like that, any kind of mental health issues and things like that. So it's different than just being called a narcissist. You actually go to therapy for it, and you get diagnosed by an actual therapist with it.
What are the traits of a diagnosed narcissist?
So some of the traits of NPD are, a grandiose sense of self. Like most narcissistic people think that they are better than other people just because they are themselves. That I'm better than you because I'm me. There might not be any kind of.
I'm trying harder. I'm doing push-ups. I'm more
I'm better than
focused.
you because I am me.
I have a channel. I have a life that I've lived. I've done things with my life.
Another one is delusions of grandeur, thinking that we deserve more just because of who we are as well.
It's like
we
an
think we deserve
entitlement.
to be, president of the United States or of any prime minister of a country or something like that.
I
just
deserve to be
because
successful.
we are ourselves again and things like that. Sensitivity to criticism. Like when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, toxic person, whatever, there's no such thing as constructive criticism. It's all criticism. It all hurts. You can't correct me in any type of way without me feeling like you are attacking me personally and things like that. Those are just a few off the top of my head.
I'm way better at that now.
A few more, but those
I
are
was
just
just
the
like,
ones
yeah, I
that kind of
accept
come out
that.
first.
Hang on, that sounds like quite a few people I know.
Right.
So most people have narcissistic traits just for survival and things like that, just for perseverance and surviving in today's world. Most people are just not in just today's world, just surviving the planet Earth. Most people have narcissistic traits of just persevering and protecting themselves anyway. But the personality disorder is diagnosed. I think there's 0.5% or 1% of the population that is clinically diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Of course, there are more narcissists out there than what is diagnosed because most people don't go get diagnosed. Most narcissists
I'm about to find
are
out.
not going to go sit in the therapist chair and let a therapist or a psychologist or whoever tell them that something is wrong with them and things like that. So there's a difference. So everybody has narcissistic traits and tendencies, but the personality disorder is different because it's pervasive. It's a pattern of toxic behaviors and things like that, self-destructive behaviors and things of that nature right there.
So what's
Self-sabotage.
the hardest thing about being a narcissist?
I feel like you're not in control. You're not in control of who you are or what you're doing. You are present of who you are. Like, I'm present of who I am, but not all the time of what I'm doing or why I'm doing the things that I do. Sometimes it feels like I'm on autopilot. Like I'm here, I'm present, I can see you, like I'm talking to you right now. But sometimes it's like my body is moving by itself, my hands are moving by itself, and my mouth is speaking by itself sometimes.
Are there any benefits to being a narcissist?
Commercial break here.
Are there any benefits to being a narcissist?
So this is gonna sound crazy. I know one of the benefits of being a narcissist is kind of like one of those questions, like, how can you benefit from being a narcissist? So I feel like the biggest benefit for me in what I do is that I can, I honestly think the benefit for me right now is my lack of empathy, my lack of, honestly, it sounds weird, but it allows me to connect to people more on a logical level and explain to them on a logical level as opposed to getting emotions involved in it. Because I think a lot of people, when you get emotions too involved in it, it dilutes your thought process. It dilutes your reactions and things like that. So if I'm coming here
Don't
from a
believe
lack
everything you
of
think.
empathy and a lack of connection, I can take a step back and look at the situation. I can analyze the situation, especially in somebody else's life, and give them reasonable, logical information from a perspective of a narcissist or person that they're dealing with. So I feel like this actually I've made my weakness into a strength now with my platform and stuff like that, because like I can just like, okay, I understand what you're going through. I have that cognitive empathy or whatever. I understand how I should feel and how you should feel, but I still can just not connect to it and give you a logical perspective, which I think helps out a lot of people. I connect to people. I'm not saying I don't connect at all, but I don't connect to them just deeply. I'm just like crying with them and stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, I can remove the tears and I can just process. I can kind of dig through it and see it. It helps me out a lot just in that aspect, that thing.
Emotional
What's the biggest
detachment.
myth about being a narcissist?
So I think self-confidence comes with narcissists. I think it's the appearance of self-confidence. I think a lot of narcissists are super insecure people. So it's the appearance of self-confidence. It's the bravado. It's the outward appearance sometimes that makes up for the actual inner insecurities. So a lot of narcissists appear to be self-confident, but we just aren't.
So the confidence myth is busted. What are some of the other common misconceptions?
I think one of the biggest myths out here that all narcissists are intentionally hurting people. I think that's one of the biggest myths. Like, do a lot of narcissists hurt people? Absolutely, yes. A lot of narcissists do a lot of bad things, but the intent is not to hurt people all the time. Sometimes the intent is just to make themselves happy, but the impact is different. I intend to make myself happy by cheating sometimes, or lying. I intend to make myself happy by doing this, but the impact hurts you. Did I know it would hurt you if you found out? Yes, absolutely. But the intent wasn't to hurt you. The intent was to make myself happy, but the impact was hurting you, So I just feel like not all narcissists are out to intentionally hurt you and things like that. And another myth I would just say is that narcissists don't love at all. All narcissists are not the same. Some narcissists do at the beginning of a relationship, they do think that they are in love with you. They do think that they are in love with you and they want to be with you. They become like this obsessive super love with you and stuff like that. But they fall out of love. And once they fall out of love, they start to treat you horribly. And like whatever, it's like we love you until we don't. And then like something in our minds disconnects from that person. And then the love switch just turns off. It just like blink. The love switch just goes off completely, and then it's like you don't know the person anymore. It's like I don't know you anymore, so I don't care about you the same anymore because you don't look the same to me anymore. In my eyes, like my heart doesn't feel the same way
really
that
love
it used to
then?
about you, and things like that.
Lee, how did you come to being diagnosed?
So when I was about 32 years old, I was at home watching my young son, and I was yelling at my 7-month-old son about how he was holding me back from life and my goals and dreams and things like that. And my wife happened to come home during that argument, and when she came home, me and her got into an argument, of course, because I was yelling at a 6-month-old. And then on her way out the door, she said, "It's so hard living with a damn narcissist." And I was just like, I didn't know what narcissist was. I thought it was just some kind of egotistical person. Somebody, just held themselves in high esteem. So I called her a narcissist on the way out the door, and she left. And then I looked it up, because I looked it up. I found out the traits and symptoms of it and things like that. And I was like, dang, because my entire life, I had always felt different. I always kind of felt like I was out of place in the world, just because I felt like an alien, pretty much. I felt like an alien in the world because my thoughts, I just felt like my thoughts clicked differently than other narcissists, than other human beings, and other people. So I just thought I was different. I didn't have a word for it. When I discovered narcissistic personality disorder, it gave me a word or a term to describe how I felt, to describe my feelings and who I was and why I do the things that I do and why I feel the way that I feel about certain things and whatnot.
How can NPD be treated?
So me personally, I just do psychotherapy, which is talk therapy, because like I said, I talk a lot. My platform is talking 100%, So I do a lot of talking and things of that nature. So in therapy, all you do is talk, and she asks you the right questions. It's kind of like digging. It's kind of like taking a shovel and digging, but
she started asking good questions. Decompartmentalizing
the more you
things
talk,
like we're going
the
to work
more
on
the
this,
therapist
we're going to
can
work on
guide you
this,
to
we're
the
going to work on
answers
this.
to why you do the things that you do, can guide you to the answers as to
Gave me
why
some
you feel the way
homework,
that you feel. So I've spent 5 years
writing
talking to
things,
someone
journaling.
about this and being open and honest and vulnerable, because I can go to therapy.
And I
Anybody can go to
think my
therapy and talk to the
vulnerability,
therapist and
exposing my
lie
vulnerability
and
because my
manipulate the therapist by
narcissism.
giving them half truths and things like that. I go to therapy and I'm just telling them straight out what's going on in my mind, because when I tell them what's going on in my mind, it helps her. It helps her tell me what's going on. It helps me understand what I need to work on, what I need to process after that appointment. So it's really, for me, what's worked best is talk therapy. Just going in there and just talking it out and being open and honest and vulnerable, which a lot of people see, a lot of narcissists see vulnerability, weakness, pretty much.
Yeah, and vulnerability as a form of weakness. It's just one of these things right now that I've been just so vulnerable over the whole year. I was willing to risk love and chance it. Um, when I felt that I was being vulnerable or played or games, and I had my belly out and it got cut, I felt gutted. And I think you have to be brave enough to risk love. You have to be brave enough to love again. You have to be brave enough to get another dog. You got to be brave enough to try another business. You got to be brave enough to go another place. It's not all about escapism. It's just about not putting it off. Not, okay, it's the other person. They're doing this to me. Or I'm the victim. They're the perpetrator. I'm the defendant. Whatever. No, bro. This isn't. This is real life. Like, I need to be better at with people. I need, just in general. Like, this is whatever it takes type shit. It's willing to expose your vulnerability and say these things to people, and when they're talking about it, and be like, yeah, I have narcissistic tendencies. I tend to like light up the room, and I get really gregarious, and I have one of those kind of personalities. I thought it was just because I was Creole, and maybe that's the way my people talk. You can inherit these through genetics. You can inherit them through environment. For sure. I live in a place where, especially in the South, where people were like always one-upmen, one-up-itis, like, oh yeah, my cousin went to that high school too. We always had a way to join in the conversation with you and conversate. I thought it was being conversationalist, and this guy's about to get really personal on his experience, and like his wife leaving him and stuff. I watched the whole thing, and I'm sure you can too, but I've been on this thing for like 2 hours, bro. And honestly, I was thinking about going 3 because there was another video, but I'm done for the next 30 days. I need a break, bro. I've been doing this forever, and honestly, exposing my life online and saying things two-faced that I should have said to someone's face. I thought I did, but I need to get away from my persona. I need to get into the human being that I am, and I need to start treating other people like human beings, not like a Machiavellian technique, not like I got them calculated, I got everything figured out. More like I'm here, present, just enjoying. I want more enjoyment out of my life. I want more peace out of my life. I want more calm out of my life. It's been nice to have mostly quiet around me at mostly saints. And it's cool to want to push websites and do all that stuff. And it's a beach every day, but there's also a lot of growth. There's a lot of audiobooks. There's a lot of journaling. And there's this thing that I think I can beat. I beat all the other addictions, right? So it's like, it's another one to conquer, and I'm down to do it. I'm so down to do it. I want to be, like she said, like this kind of person that can be charming but empathetic, and she waits for the narcissism to show up. But like, I genuinely care for people, man. I don't have to fake it. I love children. Pets come up to me, kids come up to me. It's a feeling, like, oh man, like a real human, not one of these that judge me and make me awkward, or oh, you have a beard, I shouldn't trust you type shit. And my friend's like, normally people with beards, I don't trust, but you I like, you I do business with. And it just touched my heart that I wasn't judged for my beard, and I was given a chance to be kind and empathetic. And for most part, most of my friends and those people get that part of me, that loving part of me, that sharing part of me, that giver in me. And that's why I created Thanksgiving. Do I need to be doing video of me feeding the homeless? No. Um, we just need something that works. And I just want to get back to work. And that's what I need to do for the next like 30 days. I've been cramming it. So let me get off this thing. Let me let you get back to your life. Go live your life. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. And that'll be the show for 30 days. No signaling, no contacting, no validating. I'm just existing, and I think I might just even stop the show and see if I can even edit some of the videos and see if it's even worth all the other motivation that I've done over all the years of Periscope and now on YouTube. So that's the plan. The plan is some peace and some love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, comment below how you've learned anything. Maybe you can share your experiences too. And maybe you can also conquer your narcissistic tendencies and be a better human and actually step up and admit your flaws and admit your part and be the start of the healing, the growth and onto this life that this has happened to a lot of us. And I feel like the more honest I am about it, the more healing can happen from it. So as a narcissist, as a person that has narcissistic tendencies, as a person that's treated people this same way, is not the look. It's not my ambition at all. And that's why I'm seeing a psychologist, because I was just like, what the fuck, Mark? Like, what are you doing right now, dude? Like, these are not the results that I want. So to get the results that I want, I'm going to work on me. I'm going to go invest in me. If I can go eat and if I can go do things, then I can invest in my mental health as well. So I highly suggest it. Highly suggest audiobooks, and highly suggest sitting with it. That seems to be the meditation. Thanks, Marcus Aurelius. I'll see you guys.